Hi everyone, welcome. I am Tanya and this is Matteo, and in this session we're going to be looking at how to strengthen our back muscles. Often back issues arise because of weak core and weak back muscles. Now, there are loads of yoga asana or poses that assist with strengthening the core. A Pilates session might help you with that, but this session is focused solely on strengthening back muscles. So find your mat and let's get ready. So find yourself a comfortable seated position on the mat. Whether that's straight legs for you, cross-legged, half lotus, find a position you can hold for at least 5 minutes. And we turn the palms of the hands to face up to the ceiling. Choose whether you're leaving your fingers open in a receptive gesture, or perhaps you touch the index finger and thumb together in Gyana Mudra. And let's get ready. Close the eyes. Become aware of the breath. Start deepening the inhale, taking in more oxygen into the lungs, and gently release on the exhale, not forcing anything. Continue the deep breathing and gently lift through the spine, lengthen the back of the neck. Just feeling that elevation of the torso away from the pelvis. Be aware of both sit bones in full contact with the mat. And join me in 4 rounds of a very simple box breath. We'll be inhaling for 5 counts, holding on the full lungs for 5, exhaling over 5 counts, and then we'll hold on empty lungs for 5. So let's empty the lungs now and start breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and 4, and fill the lungs and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, and empty and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, and fill the lungs and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, empty completely and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, and fill the lungs and hold 2. Make sure that the shoulders are soft. 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, and empty completely. Now hold on empty. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2. Last round, make it a good one. And 5, and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4. Empty completely and hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe normally. Gently open the eyes and we're going to come onto all fours. So find your perfect box position, 90-degree angle between forearm and mat, 90-degree angle between thigh and mat. Spread the fingers wide to give you that good surface stability. And then we get ready for a few rounds of cow and cat. So for cow, we drop the navel to the floor. Stick those sit bones higher into the sky. Gently lift the gaze, looking up at the ceiling of the sky. And now see if you can compress the shoulder blades on the back. Feel the chest sink as you do so. And release. Reverse direction now into angry cat. So tucking the tailbone under, arching the upper back. Try and put the chin on the chest. And feel how the shoulder blades are pulling away from one another. And reverse direction again into another slow cat. So arching lower back, sticking sit bones high, look up at the ceiling. Roll the eyeballs to the ceiling. And now again, draw those shoulder blades together on the back. And we hold for a breath. And now reverse direction. Tucking, tailbone under, pulling, navel to spine, drop the head low. Arch the upper back. Feel how the shoulders pull away from one another. We hold for a breath. Gently release into tabletop, flat back. Take a recovery breath and we get ready for a bit of a balancing exercise. So lifting right arm parallel to floor, lifting left leg. Now to find the balance, contract the abs, the core, use the breath, so long, slow breaths in and out through the nose, and find your drishti, your focal point. So find somewhere that's not moving. Don't look in the mirror or don't look at another person. Find a spot that's not moving. And let's hold for another breath. Drop the hand, drop the knee. Take a recovery breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. And get ready to repeat on the other side. So lifting left arm parallel to floor. Spread those fingers wide. Get ready and lifting the opposite leg. So right leg just parallel to floor. No more, no less. Find that straight line. Make sure the core is engaged. Use the breath to create stability. Hold for another breath. Release hand, release knee. Take a recovery breath again. Get ready for another round, one more on each side, this time with a modification. Modifications are optional, so you decide whether to incorporate that or not. Lifting right hand, spread those fingers wide, palm of the hand faces down to the floor. Lifting left leg, find your balance. Once you're secure in your balance, decide whether you want to add the modification or not. If you are, bend that left leg in the sky. Reach round with the right hand. Find your foot in space. And then if you manage to find your foot today, push that foot, kick that foot up into the hand and feel that intense shoulder opening on the right side. And we hold for a breath. And then release hand, release knee, take a recovery breath. In through the nose, out through the nose, and get ready. Repeat on the other side, so lifting left arm, spreading fingers wide. Raising the right leg into the sky. Again, once you've got your stability, decide whether you want to add the modification. So if you do, you bend that right leg. Reach round with the left hand. Find your foot in space. Push actively through that right hand into the mat. And then kick your right foot into that left hand. Again, feel how that left shoulder joint is opening. Hold for a breath. Release knee, release hand. And we push the body back into child's pose. Child with extended hands. So actively push on the mat. Get those sit bones as close as you can to the heels. And then once you have your position, slide the hands forward. Drop the forehead down to the mat. And we're going to hold for 5 resting breaths. Get ready and lift the head. Push the body back onto all fours, and we're going to come to lie flat on our back. So the principle here is to lie flat on our back, to feel all 4 corners of the back in full contact with the mat. Draw the knees into the chest and then hold onto the shins. And find a moment to just rest and feel what bliss it is to be lying on the back. Back muscles for once doing absolutely no work. And then when you're ready, gently rock from side to side, just softening out those back muscles, and you'll feel that the area of the massage is mid-back. So let's bring the body to a still. Cup the knees in the hands and push the knees out far enough to straighten the arms. Now topple the body over completely. Don't be scared of falling. We are on the floor. And then press yourself up with the elbow and topple the knees over to the other side. So be aware, whilst we rocking from side to side, how the massage now happens over the tops of the glutes, the sacrum. If you manage to roll completely onto your sides, you'll feel how the massage goes all the way round onto the side of the hips. And then let's bring the body to a still. We pull our right knee into the chest, release the left leg all the way to the floor. So this is a supine pigeon, lying down pigeon. And we actively draw on the right knee. Try and put the thigh onto the lower ribs. And the pressure we create on this right side of the abdomen serve to stimulate the internal organs and relieve excessive gas we might have in the digestive tract. We're creating the compression now, and once we release, which we can do now, so release that right knee, cup it in the right hand, and just hover, just lie for a moment, and feel whether perhaps you feel a tingle in the calf or the foot. Maybe you feel some warmth here on the rib cage or the thigh. It's the circulation we create on releasing compression. And now let's move that right knee out to the side. Allow it to drape low and just allow that knee to be heavy. Typically, because we're stretching across the pelvic basin and the psoas muscle, the left hip bone might lift into the sky. So take that left hand, position on left hip bone, work that left hip bone completely down to the mat. So we want the left glute in full contact with the mat. And then allow that right knee to just hang and be heavy. And we hold for a few breaths here. So by softening out the back muscles, stretching the psoas, we're getting some circulation and warmth going in those areas in preparation for the back strengthening exercises we're going to be doing in a bit. Get ready, gently release that right leg all the way to the floor. Shake out the calves on the mat. And get ready and pull the left shin into the chest. Squeezing on that left knee, trying to put the left thigh onto the left lower ribs. And if you're not getting this today, if you're only here or even over here, that's okay. Yoga is a work in practice. And we hold for a few breaths again. And feel that deep pressure we're exerting on the left. Also compressing the groin on the left side where a lot of lymph nodes and glands are located. And then release that left knee. Cup the left knee in your left hand. And again, hover for a breath or two. And just feel what's happening in the calf, the foot, maybe the thigh, even the groin area. And get ready. Release that left knee out to the side. Now again, if your right hip bone lifted into the sky, take your right hand, put pressure and roll that hip bone down to the mat so the right glute is in full contact with the mat. Once you've got this position, soften out that left knee and just let it hang. And get ready. Straighten out the left leg. Shake out the calves on the floor. Now pull up the knees into the chest, crossing the shins, and roll yourself up to seated. And then turn the body over onto the stomach. Positioning the hands exactly under the shoulders and turn one cheek to rest on. Get ready for 3 rounds of baby cobra or half cobra, followed by 2 rounds of full cobra. So with the hands positioned exactly underneath the shoulders and the elbows tucked in close to the ribs, we start pressing on the hands into baby cobra. So for baby cobra, we leave the navel in contact with the mat. So don't lift higher than that. And to test whether you're at the right height, lift the hands off the mat. This is your baby cobra position. Great, and let's hold for 5 and 4. And whilst we're holding, you can press your abs, your stomach muscles into the mat to help you lift the upper body into the sky. And feel how the mid-back muscles, the upper back muscles are working. One more breath. Let's see if we can lift that sternum just a little. And then gently release onto the mat. Turning the other cheek to rest on now. Take a resting breath. And get ready, press on the hands again. Into baby cobra we go. So this time we leave our hands on the mat. And all we do is peep over that left shoulder. And then see if you can peep a little further. So twisting the neck a little deeper. And we hold for 3. And 2. And 1. Gently move the head back to midline. And twist the head to look over the right shoulder. And twist the head a little further. And again hold for 3. And 2. And 1. And gently move the body back to midline. Releasing all the way down to the floor. Turning the alternative cheek again to rest on. Take a deep resting breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Allow the full relaxation to return to the back muscles before we go into our third baby cobra. And get ready. Pressing on our hands again. Keep those elbows tucked in close to the ribs. Feel how those mid-back muscles are working, the upper back muscles. And now, do a test. We want soft glutes. So press the glute. Are they soft or are they working? If you feel any tension in the glutes, soften the glutes. And feel how there's increased strengthening happening in the back muscles. And let's hold this here for 5. And 4. Soften the shoulders. We don't want tension in the shoulders. We want the back to be doing all the work here. And 1. And gently release down to the floor. Turning the other cheek again to rest on. Take a deep resting breath. In through the nose, out through the nose, and get ready for full cobra. So be mindful here of the back's limitations. Totally stay within your limitations. Don't push into pain zone. Don't work with your ego. There's no competition in yoga. This is about your body. So let's get ready. Press on the hands. Now we go beyond baby cobra. So continue to press and stop where you feel your back has had enough. And if you're comfortable with it, press the back up, trying to straighten the arms. You don't quite manage to straighten the arms, just move the hands forward. Lock the elbows and soften the shoulders. So wherever you are right now, we want to make sure that the pelvis rests on the floor. So we don't want to lift the tops of the thighs off the mat. Drop the pelvis onto the mat and then see where you are. If your shoulders crept up to the ears, soften them, push them away from the ears. And we hold this for a few breaths. If you want to add a modification, gently lift the chin, look up to the ceiling. Allow the chin to point straight up to the ceiling or sky, and then soften the neck. Allow the head to be heavy and hang. And when we're ready, gently start moving the chin parallel to floor. And bending the arms, we lower the body all the way down to the mat. Adjust the position of the hands to come back to exactly under the shoulders and rest. Let's take 3 resting breaths here. Give the body lots of oxygen. And get ready for the last cobra. So again, working mindfully with your back. Press yourself up to where your back feels it's a sensible stretch. Keeping the pelvis on the mat. And then gently again, make sure the shoulders are away from the ears. And then start lifting the chin all the way up to the ceiling. And once you have your position, soften that neck. Allow the head to be heavy. And then gently start moving the chin back to parallel to floor. Slowly and carefully, straightening out the upper back, turning the other cheek to rest on. And now breathe into that back body. Allow the relaxation to return. All the muscles soft before we get ready for locust. One more breath. Then lifting the head, we get ready for locust. We're going to move our hands to the sides of our bodies, palms facing up to the ceiling. And then first, in preparation, we only lift the sternum, similar to what we did in baby cobra, but without assistance of the hands. So hang out here for 5 and 4 and 3, and make sure the shoulders are soft. There's no tension in the arms. The arms and the hands are not helping. It's purely back strength. And then gently release. Remember to turn that alternative cheek again to rest on. Soften the upper body. Take a deep breath in through the nose, release through the nose. So this was the sternum part, the upper body part. We're now going to do the legs part. So again, lift the head just off the mat. We don't want to lift the sternum, so keep the shoulders, try and keep the shoulder joints in touch with the mat. We're going to start lifting the legs, so point the feet hard, try and keep the knees locked. So we want straight legs here. This time you're going to have to use your glutes a lot. Use those glute contractions to keep the legs in the air. Make sure that your shoulders are still on the mat, and we hold for 5 and 4. And see if you can lift the legs a little higher. Feel how the glutes are working. And 1. Gently release the legs all the way down to the floor. Soften the glutes. Turn the other cheek to rest on. And take a deep resting breath in through the nose, out through the nose. And now get ready for full lotus. So lifting chin off floor. We're going to do both upper body and legs at the same time. So let's get ready. Lifting legs, lifting upper body, and then lift the hands off the floor as well. So now we're feeling how the glutes are working to keep the legs in the air, how the back muscles are working to keep the torso in the air. And see if you can lift the hands just a little higher. And we hold for another 3 and 2 and 1. Awesome, great work. Allow the body to drape down to the mat. Soften the glutes, soften the legs. Let's take a deep recovery breath in through the nose, out through the nose. We're going to do another full lotus. So there is a modification, optional for you to join, to add on if you wish. Remember, modifications are always optional. So let's get ready. Lift sternum, lift legs. Lifting the hands into the sky. Now if this is enough, then stay here. If you want to add the modification, clasp the hands on the sacrum and then straighten the arms. So that adds that intense shoulder opening. And let's see if we can hold for 5 and 4. Can we maybe raise our hands a little higher into the sky? Raise the legs. Raise the sternum. 1 more breath. Awesome work. Gently release. And we're going to roll the body onto the back. So where we've been contracting the back muscles and the glutes, we're now stretching out those muscles by drawing the knees into the chest again. Hold onto the shins. Lie for a moment. Just feel all 4 corners of the back in full contact with the mat. Rest the body. And then gently rock from side to side. Feeling that massage happening over the mid-back. And then bring the body to the still. Again, push the knees out far enough to straighten out the arms. Topple over to your one side. Press the body up by using the elbow. And then just hover, it's about 45 degrees above the floor. Hover, making little circles with the knees to find those sensitive and tired spots in the glutes, and then reverse direction. So we're using the weight of our legs to massage up the glutes that have just been working really hard. And let's do this on the other side as well. So rolling over all the way to the other side. Press the body up with the elbow, about 45 degrees, knees above floor. Start making these little circles again. Just finding the sensitive and the tired spots in the glutes, and then reverse direction. So in the other way we go. And where you feel that sensitive spot, hold it for a moment and do subtle movements to really get into every nook and cranny, softening out the glutes. And let's get ready, drawing the knees into the chest, lying in our midline. Soften out the shoulders, feel the broadness across the upper back. And from here, let's roll ourselves up to seated again. So crossing shins, use the momentum of the body to roll ourselves up to seated. And we're going to come onto our all fours once again. So find your good alignment. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to push the weight over the heels, going into downward dog. So really push the weight as far as you can over the heels. Then drop that forehead all the way down to the mat, as low as you can go. And then slowly start straightening out the legs, keeping the heads and the chest low and close to the mat. And let's walk out the dog. So alternating the leg, you're stretching and bending, really warming up the hamstrings, warming up the calf muscles, stretching out the Achilles tendon. And then let's bring the body to a still. We drop the knees to the mat, untuck the feet. We're going to push the body back into wide-legged child. So keep the big toes in contact. Open the knees as wide as your hips allow, and then push the sit bones back onto the heels, and then slide the hands forward, allowing that chest to drape all the way down to the mat. So feeling that intense opening in the shoulders. We hold for another breath. When you're ready, let's lift ourselves up onto all fours again. We're going to tuck the toes under once more into another downward dog. So make it a graceful, fluid movement. And again, let's walk out the dog. Stretching into the hammies, into the backs of the knees. And bring the body to a still. So we're going to lift the right leg, not high, keep the hips square to the mat. And we step that right foot through to between the hands. And we step the left foot through. Now from here we're going into chair pose or Utkatasana. So keep your feet parallel or hip width apart if you wish. But see that the heels are slightly wider than the toes. This pigeon toe stance helps to open and align the sacrum. So we're going to brush the fingers on the mat, lifting the arms. Try and keep a deep bend in the knees. Now, be careful not to stick out the tailbone like this. We want to tuck the tailbone under and feel what it does to the back muscles when doing so. Now check down at your feet. You've got to be able to see your big toes sticking out in front of the knees. If they're not, move the weight back. So there's a lot of weight pressing into the heels here. And then raise the arms up to ceiling again, tucking tailbone under. And feel how it works the back muscles. And we're going to hold for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Straighten up, breathing deeply, opening the hands. And we're going to come to lie flat on our back again on the mat. So find your position, drawing the heels close to the sit bones. We're getting ready for 2 rounds of bridge. So allow the palms of the hands to face down to the mat. And we get ready by tucking the tailbone under. So all that means is this little pocket of air between the lower back and the mat. We're closing that off by tucking the tailbone. And then start lifting the lower back into the sky, mid back, upper back. And feel how the weight of the torso starts pressing into the upper back, into the lower base of the neck.
And let's see if we can lift the pelvis a little higher into the sky. Use the back muscles, use the glutes. And if you want to add a modification, then clasp the fingers underneath the body, pressing the heels of the hands together. And then roll the shoulders in under the body. You might want to add a modification by walking the heels a little closer to the hands. And remember, the wider your feet are apart, the easier it is to do bridge. The closer they are together, the more challenge you're adding. Make sure the neck stays soft throughout. And let's see if we can lift that pelvis just a little higher, and we hold for another 2. And 1. Gently unclasp the fingers. Roll the shoulders out from underneath the body, and then slowly start draping the spine all the way down to the mat. We move the feet out slightly to the side and drop the knees in onto midline and take a few resting breaths. Give the body lots of oxygen here. When you're ready, let's get ready for our second bridge. So again, position your feet as wide apart as you wish. Allow the palms of the hands to face down to the mat. You might want to initially press on the hands to help you lift the spine into the sky. So let's tap the tailbone. We start lifting the lower spine, the mid spine, the upper spine, and now choose whether you want to clasp the fingers again. If you're doing this for the second time, put the other little finger on the outside. And then roll the shoulders in under the body, straightening the arms, pressing those heels of the hands together, and walk the feet closer to the body if you want to add some challenge. Soften the neck. When the neck is soft, we cannot injure it. And now if you want to add yet another modification, consider lifting the right leg into the sky, pointing that foot hard. Feel how the ligaments over the top of the foot are stretching, and lift the pelvis even higher. Drop the right foot, replace with the left. Left foot pointing hard, feel the ligaments over the top of the foot stretching. And lift the pelvis even higher. And drop the left foot. Gently release the clasp of the hands. Roll the shoulders out from underneath the body. And then slowly start putting the spine back onto the mat, vertebra by vertebra. Now gently straighten out the legs. And just before we go into Shavasana, let's draw the knees into the chest, hold onto the shins. Feel all 4 corners of the back in perfect contact with the mat. And then decide whether you want to gently rock from side to side, just massaging out those muscles that have been working real hard now. And when you're ready, let's prepare for Shavasana, spreading out the legs, flopping the feet out to the sides. Turn the palms of the hands to face up to the ceiling or the sky. Let's remove our shoulders from the ears, so move them down on the mat. Close the eyes. And then turn the awareness to the back body, to the shoulders, the neck. Breathe into the back body, feeling relaxation seeping into all the muscles, restoring the shoulders, the upper back, the mid back, the lower back to complete gentleness, soft muscles. And be aware of the breath, that eternal thread of life that runs through it all. And no matter what the challenge is, our breath carries us through. We rest for another 5 breaths. And when we're ready, let's draw our knees into the chest, squeezing our body into a little ball again like we did during the practice. And then gently roll the body over to the right, bending the right arm to use as a support underneath the head. Take a moment in this fetal position, Be aware of the gentle stretch across the back muscles. And then when we're ready, press with the one hand and then the other onto the mat. Keep the eyes closed if you can. Find your mat with your hands. Find a comfortable seated position. Lifting through the spine. Lengthening the back of the neck. Bring the hands together in prayer, Anjali Mudra, in front of the heart. Let's gently bow our chin. And we seal this practice with a gratitude for the amazing transformational abilities of our bodies. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.